Communities in flood-prone states must register with flood relief centers. UMNO General Assembly delegates told to focus on voice and pulse of the people. Good evening, I'm Amin Carlos and you're watching News on 2. Communities in flood-prone states have been instructed to immediately evacuate and register their details with the local flood relief operation centers as soon as flood waters inundate their homes. Early registration can also be made via the National Disaster Relief Agency online portal so that the authorities can channel aid speedily to these communities and avoid being left out of the aid recipients list.
Itu yang pertama. Yang keduanya, sekarang ni kita dulu pernah kita buat di sebuah negeri, kita buat sistem bapa angkat di mana tiap-tiap jabatan mesti menjadi bapa angkat kepada satu pusat perpindahan. Di Kelantan baru ni kita perkenalkan sistem bapa angkat. Mereka jadi bapa angkat, dia bekah staf dia turun bukan saja untuk menjaga kawasan perpindahan, tetapi selepas perpindahan kita perlu bersihkan kawasan rumah mangsa.
In his response to Senator Wilfred Yong Chen Leong in the Dewan Negara today, Dato Sri Dr. Shahidan Kasim said community rescue teams comprising of village headmen and committee members as well as teachers were formed to help the flood-affected residents before the search and rescue teams arrive.
The flood situation continues to improve in Kelantan with more evacuation centers closed and currently operating in 2 districts. Now, the number of flood evacuees has dropped to 582 in Pasir Mas and Tumpat. The evacuation center in Pasir Putih was closed at noon today. And the number of evacuees in Pasir Mas is currently at 528 as compared to 1,267 at noon today. Whereas in Tumpat, 2 evacuation centers remain open, housing 54 people. And as for river levels, only Sungai Golo remains above its danger mark. State flood portal ebanjir.kelantan.gov.my reported that the water level in Sungai Golo, Rantau Panjang was 9.17 meters as at noon compared to 9.29 meters at 7 a.m., but it is still above the danger level of 9 meters. The portal also reported that no main roads had been closed to traffic, with the weather being fine today. UMNO Vice President Dato Sri Dr. Ahmad Zahid Hamidi wants the delegates of the Party General Assembly 2017 to focus on the voice and pulse of the people when debating during the 5-day gathering beginning today. In a closed-door meeting, Dato Sri Dr. Ahmad Zahid advised this to the delegates who would debate the keynote address of UMNO President and the motions on the economy, religion and education.
According to UMNO Supreme Council member Dr. Ashraf Wajdi Ditsuki, the Vice President called on all debaters and representatives to take the opportunity and platform to voice out issues including that of the country's future. Dato Sri Dr. Ahmad Zahid, who is carrying out the duties of Deputy Party President, stressed that UMNO should continue to become the voice in its struggle for the religion, race and country. Dato Sri Dr. Ahmad Zahid also advised that the motions to be debated could further strengthen the solidarity of party members and supporters in facing the 14th general election of GE14. Meanwhile, Dato Sri Dr. Ahmad Zahid cautioned all quarters against using social media to spread fake news or slander.
Biarpun kita berbeza pendapat, tetapi untuk memberikan pengukuhan kepada negara kita harus bersatu pemikiran dan berkempenlah dengan cara yang terbaik agar tidak ada fitnah ataupun sebarang keburukan yang akan dicalitkan di muka lawan kita.
Dato Sri Dr. Ahmad Zahid said this in an exclusive interview with RTM after he officially launched the media center for the UMNO Annual General Assembly at the Putra World Trade Center, PWTC, in Kuala Lumpur. The new media center at level 4 of PWTC was previously used as a space for congregational Friday prayers. About 1,800 members of the media will be on duty at the assembly.
The foundation of UMNO and Barisan Nasional, or BN, is based on a mutually beneficial arrangement and giving non-Malays an equal voice. UMNO Treasurer Dato Sri Dr. Saleh Tun Said Kerouak, however, said that in order to achieve what is considered a mutually beneficial arrangement, the Malays must first be as one. And through his blog post, Dato Sri Dr. Saleh, who is also the Communications and Multimedia Minister, said that once UMNO was formed, it had to sit down with the Chinese, Indians and the other ethnic groups to come to an alliance which was called the Alliance or Alliance Party. The alliance then negotiated with the British for independence, to which part of the agreement involved the citizenship for the non-Malays. Now, this brought the Malay population majority down to about 50%, proving to the non-Malays that they were equal partners in the struggle for Merdeka. The struggle for Merdeka was a peaceful and bloodless affair that took 11 years of negotiations from 1946 to 1957, which UMNO made sure that negotiations involved the Malays, Chinese, Indians and other ethnic groups. Now, for UMNO to be standing tall after 71 years and the alliance now called Barisan Nasional for 65 years is something very few partnerships anywhere else in the world have successfully achieved. The Johor Civil Defence Force, or APM, has received 5 new assets worth 2.736 million ringgit to further enhance rescue operations and to be better equipped in facing future natural disasters in the state.
State APM Director Colonel Madzin Bujang said the assets, which comprise 3 5-ton lorries, a sea legs amphibious craft and a 4-wheel drive. The assets were given to the force by the National Disaster Management Agency, NADMA.
Dengan adanya aset-aset ini di daerah, maka gerak tindak APM akan lebih meningkat. Jadi lebih efisien dengan adanya aset-aset ini dan fokus kita di Sekamat.
Met after the assets handover ceremony, Colonel Madzin said the assets would be stationed in 3 districts identified as disaster risk areas, namely Segamat, Batu Pahat and Johor Bahru. A total of 500 APM members statewide were prepared to face any possible natural disaster, especially during this monsoon season.
School bus fares nationwide will see a 10 to 20 ringgit increase in fares from January next year. Now, the Federation of Malaysian School Bus Operators Association President Muhammad Rafiq Muhammad Yusof said members do not wish to increase the fares, but they just could not put up with the escalating operating costs. Speaking to reporters after attending the Federation's 6th annual general meeting in Ipoh today, Muhammad Rafiq added that members are putting up with between 50% and 80% increase in price of spare parts.
Faham hari ni kadar minyak ni yang tak tentu ni. So I think maybe berlakulah sedikit kenaikan ni ya, untuk pengusaha boleh terus bernafas, untuk pengusaha boleh teruskan khidmatan ni. Because bukan saja kos minyak, kos ni maintenance ni pun terlampau tinggi.
At present, parents in the city are paying 80 ringgit for their children's fare, while those in other areas are paying 60 ringgit. A 16-year-old boy was found drowned in a lake at Paya Biru, Felda Lokheng Selatan near Kota Tinggi today. And Kota Tinggi District Police Chief Superintendent Ajmon Baja said the body of Muhammad Faiz Salehuddin, a student of Sekolah Menengah Kebangsaan Johor Jaya II, was located by a search and rescue team at 1:45 a.m. Now, Muhammad Faiz was reported missing around 4 p.m. yesterday while swimming with 7 friends in the lake at a recreational spot. And Superintendent Ashmon said the search and rescue operation for Muhammad Faiz was mounted by personnel from Bandar Penawar Police Station and Bandar Penawar Kota Tinggi Fire and Rescue Department. He said torrents of water had earlier gushed down the lake from the nearby hill following heavy rain. Now, the case has been classified as sudden death. A father of 2 was charged in the Aikro Sessions Court for allegedly raping a 16-year-old girl last year. And the accused, Cornelius Rafael de Melo, 37, however, pleaded not guilty. And according to the charge sheet, the accused was charged for raping the girl, who was then 15 years old, at a hotel in Bandar Hilir, Melaka, at 11:30 p.m. on 15 July 2016. Cornelius was charged under Section 376 of the Penal Code, which carries a jail time of up to 20 years and whipping if convicted. Now, the court set bail at 20,000 ringgit and imposed an additional order forbidding the accused from approaching the alleged victim and prosecution witnesses. The court also set January 5th for the case we mentioned. Well, meanwhile, a traditional massage parlor operator was charged at the Ayekro Sessions Court in Malacca today with raping his worker 2 years ago. Ashab Bahari, 43, claimed trial to raping the girl, then aged 19, at Jabat Spa, Gold Coast, Bukit Katil, Malacca, at 11 a.m. on November 25th, 2015. Now, the father of 3 faces Section 376, subsection 1 of the Penal Code, which carries a jail sentence of up to 20 years and liable to whipping if found guilty. Judge Mir Sulaiman Ahmad Tarmizi set 15,000 ringgit as bail with 1 surety and January 5th for remention. The prosecution was conducted by Deputy Public Prosecutor Siti Rovina Muhammad Rawi, while the accused was represented by counsel M. Puspa. An Indonesian woman pleaded guilty in a Butterworth Sessions Court for physically abusing her 1-year-old son. Then accused was charged for committing the offence under Section 31, subsection A, subsection A1 of the Child Act 2001 at their home in Paya Lahar, Kepah, Kepala Batas at 4:30 p.m. on 22nd November. Now, the 26-year-old accused faces a fine not exceeding 50,000 ringgit or imprisonment for a maximum of 20 years or both upon conviction. Deputy Public Prosecutor Rosalina Idris objected to bail. Now, the woman was arrested on 23rd November after she brought her unconscious son to Kepala Batas Hospital. The boy was then transferred to Pulau Pinang Hospital but was confirmed dead at about 10:45 a.m. on 27th November. He was believed to have suffered a hemorrhage from being beaten by a blunt object. The court set 5th January for sentencing. $454 applications approved for One Malaysia Maintenance Fund. Now, this and more coming up. To lift the ban on the import of raw, unprocessed swiftlet birds' nests into China, which has been imposed for 4 years to date following allegations of harmful substances found in the product. And Prime Minister Dato Sri Muhammad Najib Tun Razak had discussed the lifting of the ban with the Chinese authorities during his visit to China last month.
Baru ni kami berunding sekali lagi dan PM pergi ke China pada awal bulan ini. Antaranya kami telah menandatangani sekali lagi protokol bagi membolehkan sarang burung yang belum diproses tadi masuk terus sana dan diproses di sana. Protokol sudah ditandatangani, cuma ada proses SOP-nya. Secara detailnya belum lagi.
In his response to a question from Senator Dato Abdul Rahman Mat Yassin in Dewan Negara today, Dato Sri Ahmad Chaburi said the price of swiftlet birds' nest has risen to almost 6,000 ringgit per kilogram, with the potential to become a new source of wealth generation given the high demand for the product in China.
The Ministry of Urban Wellbeing, Housing and Local Government has approved 454 applications for the One Malaysia Maintenance Fund or TP1M program. And according to its Deputy Minister, Dato Halimah Muhammad Sadiqi, these applications involve 324 low-cost and 130 low-medium-cost housing projects with a total cost of 327 million ringgit.
Since 2014, the ministry has received 690 applications under the TP1M program to carry out repair and maintenance works for low-cost strata houses and medium-cost private houses.
Berdasarkan kepada kelulusan program TPIM bermula daripada tahun 2017 hingga 2014 hinggalah kepada 2017 sebanyak 150,000 unit rumah, iaitu 105,000 unit kos rendah dan 45,000 unit kos sederhana rendah yang melibatkan seramai 600,000 penghuni, iaitu 420,000 yang datang daripada penghuni kos projek-projek kos rumah kos rendah dan 180,000 lagi yang datang daripada projek-projek kos sederhana rendah.
Dato Halimah said this in a reply to Senator Dato Wu Weihao's question, who wanted the ministry to state the number of TP-SATU-M applications received so far and the number of applications that had been approved, including other details.
Proton Holdings Berhad maintained a strong growth with sales performance reaching 66,190 units as at November 30th, 2017. Now, this figure saw an increase of 2% compared to 65,069 units sold in the same period last year. And in a statement, Proton said Saga and Persona remain the company's best-selling model, contributing 70% of the total sales. And the sales growth is driven by the improvement of the quality level via Proton's collaboration with Zhejiang Holding Group. IRIS sales recorded a 2.8% rise in November 2017 compared to the previous month, following Proton's victory in the 9-hour endurance race in Sepang last month. With the introduction of new products featuring high-value technology, Sharp Malaysia Sales and Service Company Sendirian Berhad is looking forward to a more vibrant sales growth next year. And according to its managing director, Tadashi Oyama, the new products include its latest Aquos 8K Ultra-High Definition TV. Aquos TV has 16 times the resolution of full 1080 pixels HD and claims to produce images virtually indistinguishable from reality. And Sharp has also introduced a Pelican refrigerator model, a revolutionary refrigerator with highly innovative features such as JTAC inverter technology. Well, coming up, Australia to ban foreign interference. Now that concludes this evening's News on 2. Now top story, UMNO General Assembly delegates told to focus on voice and pulse of the people. Join us again at 12:30 tomorrow afternoon for more updates. Till then, I'm Amin Carlos. Good night and thanks for watching.